Venezuela. In the year 1498, on his third voyage to the Americas, Christopher Columbus discovered a new land which he claimed as Spanish territory. A few years later, another Spanish expedition found the Indians of Lake Maracaibo living in huts built on piles driven into the lake. This practice reminded them of the lagoons in Venice, and so they called the land Venezuela, which means Little Venice in Spanish. Venezuela is on the northern coast of South America. The Caribbean Sea is on its north side, Colombia on the west, and Brazil and British Guyana on the south and east. Until 60 years ago, Venezuela was one of the poorest of the South American countries. The early Spanish explorers were so disappointed at finding no rich civilization there which they could plunder that in 1528 the Emperor Charles V leased the country to a German merchant's family. This was to repay loans he had arranged to finance his European wars. Venezuela became the first German colony in South America. Even today, there are many German businessmen there. Later, the Spaniards, feeling that the Germans mistreated the Venezuelan Indians, took the country back and held it until 1811 when the citizens revolted against the hated Spanish rule. By 1824, Simon Bolivar, a great fighter for freedom, had liberated not only Venezuela but also Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. In the year 1917, a North American oil company discovered oil in and around Lake Maracaibo. Now, both the lake and the surrounding country are a forest of steel oil derricks, and Venezuela is one of the largest oil producing countries in the world. The oil is sold and exported by British and North American oil companies who have obtained from the Venezuelan government the rights to develop the oil fields. In exchange, they give the government a large share of the profits. But all these riches did not bring immediate happiness and prosperity to the people of Venezuela. With the money from the oil, the country bought goods from other countries and neglected its own industries. The government, realizing that it was bad for the country to depend on one industry alone, set out to encourage the growth of other industries. In recent years, North American companies have been allowed to begin mining iron ore in the Orinoco Valley. The port of Ciudad Bolivar was built on the Orinoco River to ship the iron ore to the United States. The Great Orinoco Plain, which is 600 miles long and 200 miles wide, has always suffered from terrible floods and droughts. The people of Venezuela have discovered new ways to irrigate the plain and make good grazing land out of it. Now, cattle raising is Venezuela's third most important industry after oil and iron ore. Farming too, particularly coffee and cocoa, now add to Venezuela's prosperity. The vivid contrast between ancient customs and poverty and all the new wealth is to be seen in Caracas, the capital city. It has almost 1 million people and is 3,000 feet above the sea level, which makes the city cool and comfortable even though it is only 5 miles from the hot, steamy coast. Because of the growth in the oil industry, Caracas has changed suddenly from a sleepy old Spanish style town to a busy city of towering skyscrapers and wide concrete boulevards. It is bustling with new businesses opened up by European and American settlers. The beautiful villas, gleaming hotels, and new office buildings are rapidly replacing thousands of miserable shacks in crowded slums. For many years, Venezuela was governed by military groups or dictators. The most notorious of these was Juan Vicente Gomez, who ruled from 1908 until 1935. He was a brutal tyrant who used the country as if it were his own private estate. The enormous wealth from the oil went into the pockets of the ruling few, and most of the people remained poor and uneducated. In the 1936, after Gomez's death, the government became a federal representative republic operating under a constitution. Approximately 90% of Venezuela's people are mestizos. This means that they are of mixed local Indian and European blood. The rest are Negro, European, or pure South American Indians. They speak only Spanish, except for a few primitive Indian tribes which have their own dialects. Most Venezuelans live along the hot, humid Caribbean coast between the mountain and the sea. Venezuela's land is almost 57 times the size of New Jersey and is divided roughly into four areas. To the west is a high mountain chain, a continuation of the Andes. Here it can be very cold. Inland, east of the mountains, is the hot plain of the Orinoco River. To the northwest is Lake Maracaibo and the seacoast, a humid, swampy country. The Guyana Highlands make up one half of Venezuela and are rich in unexplored minerals. They are covered with thick, primitive forests of many kinds of rare trees, and they are full of brilliantly colored birds and plants. Very little effort has been made to explore this area because of the difficulty in reaching it. Between Venezuela and British Guiana is the famous Mount Roraima, an immense mass of light red rock 8 miles long with straight sheer walls at least 1,500 feet high. Its top, over 9,000 feet above sea level, is perfectly flat. In this flat area rise several magnificent streams which crash over the precipices in wonderful cascades to join the Orinoco and Amazon rivers. Venezuela has few railways. Roads, canals, and rivers are the chief means of transportation. Many people travel by air, and Venezuela has 5 airlines and 85 airports. Thank you very much.